Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we have a playoff qualifier series here for qualifiers for the Faction Wars tournament that is taking place on the 23rd of May at 1700 hours CET. And this is the Pro team versus the DME team. So in green we have Florio playing Armada. We have Randy as Cortex, and then we have in the club as Legion. In the opposing side, we have DME Flying Duck as Cortex, Neb as Legion, and finally Raxel as Armada. Now, this is the Paul Civilis map we've seen before on the channel. It's a pretty new map, actually designed by Neb, and we saw a 3v3 recently on this map where Neb was actually starting in the position that Indie Club currently is now. And as we mentioned before, the forward start position here does give you an advantage in getting units to contest that middle area a lot quicker, but it does tend to leave the rest of your team a bit exposed. And that's exactly what happened, as the player that was here at the time really didn't have any defense, because the bottom player was having to go this way and this top player got collapsed on, leaving this player constantly having to focus here, was not able to defend backwards and support this player. So Neb's position here in the center, definitely a lot more of a defensive position here, and will be able to help both of his teammates relatively easily. Now, Raxel still without a factory as of yet, and nor does Flying Duck. Also, on the opposite side, again, no factories from either player, so full communism mode from both teams this time. Pushing everything out from a single factory, and all of the economy is basically going to one player. So we'll see how long this strategy works. We had one of these recently and it was a bit... it didn't work. They ended up having to build their own factories and such. It just didn't work out for them whatsoever. At the moment, we see both teams. Florio pushing along the top, has gotten pretty far along so far. Meanwhile, we have Raxel in the middle trying to do a bit of fighting. These goblins are so small, it makes it really difficult to kind of pay attention to what's going on. Meanwhile, along the bottom, Raxel's slowly pushing up, because obviously he doesn't have a constructor of his own. He can't get the geos right now. Some goblins are trying to make a little bit of a push through, but they're not really going to... Oh, surprisingly, they are actually getting past. Terrible position for the camera. But Randy's comp will clean that up very effectively. Constructors have been given out to Flying Duck so far. Not one to Raxel just yet. Neb focusing everything on economy, giving all of his combat units to Raxel. Be interesting to see what his plan is from here. Meanwhile, on the opposite side here, we see a air factory being given to Florio after it was built by Indie Club. Randy still without a radar yet, and not radar factory yet, but he did manage to build that factory, which is big, as Flying Duck hasn't. All the metal extractors and energy that was produced by Raxel has been gifted to Neb at this point. And these oh, they've changed the name of them, Satyrs. Just to make it even more awkward with a weird name. To be fair, it does kind of fit in with more of the other names of the units, to be fair. Back on us. I don't... Toxotai, I guess? Phobos. Oh, it's not called the Centaur anymore. Change the name of it and change the model. Okay, it'll be interesting to see those. As we focus more on the middle at the moment, the bottom side's not really anything happening, but we may be about to see something happen here along the top, as here come the gunships. Flying Duck is already at half health. Oh, but Flying Duck manages to push in and gets Florio's comm and then cloaks. Without the commander there is no radar. And Flying Duck actually manages to survive that. That is tremendous. Florio's comm, one down. In the club, currently very heavily surrounded by these satyrs, so nothing really to worry about. Randy, on the other hand, is on his own at the bottom with no units and a comm just slowly building up LLTs. Red does have air out of its own. It's completely removed the land factory as well to focus on getting fighters. Always found these fighters really disappointing. But to be fair, against Legion, they seem to be doing okay. Just so tiny. Meanwhile, there's a huge chunk of satyrs down here. Randy is managing to deal with, oh. Raxel going way too far in here. Way too late to respond to that. And that is 1-for-1 comms. That is a huge, silly mistake there by Raxel. Raxel now gifted the entirety of the middle army as well as the commander, and at the same time, the satyrs are making their push in the middle. And Raxel looks like he's about to lose the second comm now. Leaving Team DME extremely short-handed with only a single commander, 10% health. Dip, duck, dive and dodging, but it's not going to be enough. He desperately needs to run away. No cloak, though, from him at all. There's a severe shortage of units currently. He is running away significantly enough. At the same time, the push here into the base. There's only one factory from here. The comm Raxel had did go down in the middle, leaving 1 to 2. But if they can get the factories, that's a big amount of damage. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to, though. I was saying that. The gunships are getting killed pretty quickly, but there's not enough units left. All the build power removed, leaving just 2 of these satyrs left. But it's, well, 1 now is not going to be enough to kill the factories. But well done. Losing the commander, but doing significant damage to the factories area. And now in the club is tried to get killed by these gunships, but they are not really hitting anything whatsoever. But big problems now as Flying Duck, rather, is kind of sat here right at the top on his own with no reinforcements, no units at all. And Indo Club is sending all of his forces up there to deal with it. Surprising that he's not moving his commander back here to build, like, AA or anything. All the gunships have been sent up to deal with that army. The Neb base is perfectly fine, but Randy is slowly moving forward with his commander along the bottom. This has been completely forgotten about. This one satyr here is not focusing on any of those. Getting down the factories. But will Flying Duck get killed? It's not looking good. He could just walk back here and walk into the water. I think he can walk into that water. Yeah. Literally could just fall back, get into the water, and he'll be safe. And it looks like now he's starting to do that. He doesn't really have energy for a D-guns. It may have been too late. Meanwhile, Randy is slowly walking along the bottom. not really getting aggroed whatsoever. Doesn't have the energy to cloak and walk. He will make it. Oh, God. What's he doing? Goes for D-guns. That's fine. He's managed to make it in the water. In the club, though, moving through the water himself, and Flying Duck is not aware that he's in there. If Flying Duck moves his comm into the water, Inda Club can just walk up and bomb the commander as long as Randy does not die now. Randy at 80% health currently, directly outside of his opponent's base. Right now, all the pro team have to do is take out DME's commander, and that's it. Now, the wreck here for this commander is gone. There's no reviving that. Same with the middle one, and the one all the way back here is gone ages ago. And we can see Randy's actually built up his own base here instead. It is basically Randy versus the entirety of DME at the moment. And Randy in trouble, 40% health. It does not look like Inda Club is going to make it in time. Randy just desperately trying to keep these guys, these turrets alive. And it is working out so far, but bigger boys are on the way as the Curions? The Surions? I don't quite know how you pronounce those ones. But they seem to be making pretty short work of those LLTs. And now Randy is having to fall back. At the same time, we do see on the mini-map forces coming in from above. Inda Club is trying to make a move to suicide Flying Duck, but so far not working out for him. Question is, can Inda Club get in position before Randy gets killed? These are all just Tech 1 tanks, by the way. These Shurions, the Curions. Do look pretty good. And here we go. This is going to be the point. Flying Duck, if he's paying attention, he spots him just as soon as he comes into range. And Flying Duck should be able to escape now. Flying Duck knows he's got the last commander. He needs to keep moving. He can't let Inda Club get close. Just needs to keep moving. He also can't air transport out, which is the problem as well. Keep an eye on it. Randy, at the same time, just trying to stay alive. Inda Club at half health. Randy, even lower, though. 20% health. Randy will go down. And now it's all about the draw. Inda Club with the final blue commander here. And DME looks like they're going to be taking the victory. Inda Club unable to keep up. And with no economy, no base, and nothing left, Pro lose the match. Inda Club had a great plan there. It just didn't work out for them. So that's round 1 goes to DME. Let's check out round 2. And here we are, round 2 on Aurelia. You don't often see this map played in a 3v3. So here we go. Aurelia 1v1 to 3v3 map. Quite often played in 1v1. Surprisingly here, not seeing Neb here start in the triple metal spot. Instead, just building straight up a factory that is probably going to get Raxel to pump in. Looks like they might be going for another communism build here, as Raxel is playing as Armada and Flying Duck playing as Vortex. So they've got all 3 factions available to them. Florio this time is playing Legion, Club as Cortex, and Randy as Armada. Randy having a factory this time, it seems, going Armada vehicles. Now, Raxel, interestingly enough, just pumping out a ridiculous amount of wind. Now, wind is cheaper for Armada to build, which makes sense. And it'll be interesting to see how the two teams plan on playing this. Now, interestingly, we have the weird scouts, which are just wheels versus actual scouts, and the wheels seem to win out. Also, interesting to see this like weird meta that's developed around basically communisming in these 3v3s. You're not sure what I mean by communism. It basically, like, you build one factory and everyone overflows. So if we select these other players here, you can see the share bar is like really low. So it means that any metal or energy they have over that bar instantly gets donated to your teammate. And so basically all the metal that all of the team is producing is going to Neb. And the same sort of thing is happening over here. You see their share sliders are all the way down to the bottom, meaning that all of the metal they're donating is going to Randy in this instance. Now Club managing to win out on the scout fight. If we select their team, they still don't know exactly where the factories are. But they do know that there is a vehicle at least. So that's one information that they do have, which makes sense on this map. It's mostly flat. Why not go vehicles? Raxel not rushing into the water yet, though, and Club is already there. The scout up here will manage to get a metal extractor or two, already queuing them up, it seems. And this is the closest look I've managed to actually get at this unit. With 2 wheels, it sounds. Not just 1, 2. So it's going to be Armada vehicles versus Legion vehicles. Now, as we've said on this map many a time, this middle section here is quite important. It's very difficult to get to with units. You have to basically send your commander or amphibious. And if you get a radar in this middle ground, it basically gives you vision of this entire area. So it's very, very strong position for a radar. Now, I'm still kind of surprised that we're seeing such low unit counts in this game with the communism mode. But it does mean that these games do tend to go quicker because of that. Because of all of the economy going into, you know, one person. You're basically watching what would be an accelerated 1v1. But with 3 commanders instead of 1. Lots of pings currently kind of giving information saying this is here, this is here. They can see Flying Duck's commander here. And I'd be interested to know where he's going. Literally just going straight past. Does he know that's there? He does. Not quite sure what his plan is right now. Not to go up. Meanwhile, the left side is extremely weak. As Randy's slowly walking down, he's got some units behind him. In the middle, however, is a big bunch of stuff barreling down. More of these Decurions. They are unable to shoot over each other, though. So there becomes a bit of a problem when they're all like in a line, as we see here. Very, very slow, actually, when you compare them to the speed of the other units that they're coming up against. Leaving behind 180 metal. So just a little bit more than the Janus. Meanwhile, Florio is walking up from behind here and going to be intercepted by Flying Duck. If Flying Duck's paying attention, could quite easily turn around and go on him here, but instead, Flying Duck just walking straight past. He doesn't seem to give a damn whatsoever and is going for that reclaim. Meanwhile, the build power getting taken out here. Both build turrets are gone. There's 2 more over here, con turrets wise. And this guy's just going to slowly whittle away at the economy. There's no units really here to defend. Randy losing everything. And Florio's job to hold the middle has gone horrific for him, as the entire base economy gets taken out, leaving the blue team with basically nothing. And Randy has nothing left, really, he can do. Obviously, his commander's nowhere nearby. The team has no energy production now whatsoever. The factory is about to die. And those central fortifications came just way too late. And now the blue team with no production whatsoever. Flying Duck just literally basically walked into the enemy base at 6-minute mark. Just strolled right in. He was like, I don't give a damn. I'm here. This is my base now. And Randy gets taken out on the flank. No units really left to defend him, leaving the one and only Inter Club on the right-hand side and Florio to try and rebuild. But it wouldn't take much now for Flying Duck to just kind of, you know, build a base up here and just sandwich Florio. Realistically, Neb could just switch over, give the economy to Flying Duck for a bit, get him to build a base up there, and that's it. But meanwhile, we can see these few tanks now just spread out, take as much territory as possible. And that's it, really. All of this economy that was built up is just about to get decimated. There's no air defense anywhere, so this is quite a smart move. See, desperately trying to not give up here, though, Florio and Randy, with the last remaining constructor he has near the base, just building AAA. I am surprised Flying Duck did not build a factory over here, to be honest, to just keep that pressure up. And the club is walking back here to provide some pressure. Raxel also on the move here as well to try and provide a radar, probably, on this high ground. Gunships are now just doing their work to slowly whittle down what's left. The last remaining energy reserves are gone, and it seems to me that the blue team has resigned. DME wins the day. And what do you think about that? Communism kind of carrying it there very well. And blue team just absolutely decimated by that huge amount of metal tanks going right down the middle. There was just nothing that could stop it. Florio's comm out of position. And there we go. 2-0 to Team DME.
Battle ended.
And don't forget, if you want to check out more of the Legion gameplay that's going to take place, the tournament is going to be tomorrow. That is the 23rd of May, 1700 hours Central European time. And also, I think the final will actually take place on the 24th at 1900 hours. And that will be on Bar's official YouTube and Twitch. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.